Karen's sneer could curdle milk, and her voice carried the kind of venom that made squirrels scatter. She stood on my porch, all 300 pounds of her, waving her phone like a gavel, ready to sentence my little lakeside haven to oblivion. My wife, Lila, and I had spent years saving for this cabin, a cedar-scented escape from the city's grind. But Karen, our new neighbor from 2 lots down, had decided it was her personal mission to ruin us. It started 3 months ago when we moved in. The cabin was a fixer-upper, perched on the edge of Lake Serenity, with a sagging deck and windows that whistled in the wind. We loved it, flaws and all. Karen, however, didn't. From day one, she'd waddle over, her flip-flops slapping the dirt, to complain about our eyesore of a home. "Your roof's too steep," she'd say, or "that paint color's not regulation." She'd quote imaginary HOA rules, despite this being unincorporated land with no such thing. Lila tried being polite, offering her coffee, even cookies once. Karen just scoffed, muttering about low-class newbies ruining her view. The real trouble brewed last week. We'd been working on the deck, hammering nails and sanding boards under the summer sun. Karen stormed over, red-faced, claiming our construction was disturbing her peace. I pointed out we were on our own property, well within county noise ordinances. She didn't like that. Her eyes narrowed, and she hissed, "You'll regret this." The next day, a county inspector showed up, tipped off by an anonymous complaint about unpermitted renovations. We showed him our permits, all stamped and legal. He left, annoyed at the wasted trip. But Karen wasn't done. Yesterday morning, I woke to the sound of sirens. 2 police cars pulled up our gravel drive, lights flashing. Lila gripped my arm, her eyes wide. "What now?" she whispered. I stepped outside, heart pounding, to find Karen standing smugly by the road, arms crossed, her floral muumuu flapping in the breeze. The lead officer, a no-nonsense guy named Delgado, approached. "We got a 911 call," he said. "Report of illegal activity dumping hazardous waste into the lake." I laughed, thinking it was a mistake. "Officer, we're not dumping anything. This is our home." But Delgado's face stayed grim. He gestured toward Karen, who was now loudly recounting her evidence to the second off-camera blurry photo of our deck supplies, which she claimed were toxic chemicals. She'd called 911, spun a tale of environmental crime, and demanded our immediate arrest. Lila stepped forward, her voice shaking but firm. "That's ridiculous. Those are just paint cans and lumber. We've got receipts." She pulled out her phone, scrolling through photos of our renovation purchases. I watched Karen's smirk falter, just for a second, but she doubled down. "They're lying," she shrieked. "I saw them pouring stuff into the lake last night." That's when I noticed something. Karen's sandals were caked in mud, the same red clay from our backyard trail to the lake. The trail was private, marked clearly with no trespassing signs. I pointed it out to Delgado. "Officer, how'd she get that mud on her shoes?" "That's from our property. She's been sneaking around back there." Delgado's eyes flicked to Karen's feet. Her face went pale, and she stammered. "Tu was just checking on the lake. For the community." But the officer wasn't buying it. He asked for her ID and started questioning her about the 911 call. Lila and I led the second officer, a younger guy named Patel, to the backyard to show him the trail. Sure enough, there were fresh footprints, big, wide ones, matching Karen's sandals leading right to the water's edge. No sign of any hazardous waste. Just our dock and a couple of kayaks. Back at the front, Karen was unraveling. Delgado's questions were calm but relentless. Ma'am, you said you saw them dumping chemicals at 10 p.m. last night. Can you confirm the exact spot? Karen pointed vaguely toward the lake, her story shifting with every word. It was dark, but I know what I saw, she insisted. Delgado raised an eyebrow. Dark? Then how'd you get such a clear view from your property? A quarter-mile away. Lila whispered to me. She's lying through her teeth. I nodded, feeling a mix of anger and pity. Karen had built this whole drama out of spite, and now it was collapsing. Patel returned, holding up his phone. He'd found security footage from our neighbor's dock camera, bless old Mr. Jenkins for installing it after last year's boat thefts. The footage showed Karen, clear as day, creeping onto our property at 9:47 p.m. Snooping around our deck and taking photos. No chemicals, no dumping, just her trespassing. Delgado's tone hardened. Ma'am, making a false 911 call is a misdemeanor. Trespassing is another charge. Care to explain? Karen's bravado crumbled. She started blubbering, claiming she was protecting the lake and didn't mean any harm. But the officers weren't moved. They cuffed her, reading her rights as she wailed about her reputation. Lila and I stood on the porch, watching her get led to the patrol car. I felt a twinge of guilt, nobody likes seeing someone humiliated, but then I remembered the months of her harassment, the lies, the stress she'd caused. As the police cars pulled away, Lila squeezed my hand. Karma's real, she said softly. I nodded, but my mind was on the bigger picture. Karen wasn't just a nosy neighbor. She was a warning. People like her thrive on control, on tearing others down to feel bigger. We'd fought back with truth permits, receipts, footage and one, but it hadn't been easy. The lake sparkled in the distance. Calm again, and I realized how close we'd come to losing this piece. That evening, we sat on the deck, sipping coffee, the air thick with pine and relief. Mr. Jenkins stopped by, chuckling about the footage. Karen's been a pain since she moved in, he said. Always reporting folks for nothing, dog barking, kids playing. Guess she picked the wrong fight this time. He told us she'd tried to report him for illegal fishing last summer, only to be laughed off when he showed his license. Her pattern was clear: lie, bully, repeat. Until today. The next morning, we heard Karen had been released on bail, but the charges stuck: trespassing and misuse of 911. The county was buzzing, and for once, the gossip wasn't about us. Lila started a group chat with neighbors, suggesting we all keep an eye out for each other. No more Karens, she texted, and the replies poured in laughing emojis, stories of her antics, and a few thank yous for standing up to her. I thought about what drove Karen. Maybe it was loneliness, or envy of our little slice of paradise. Maybe she just liked the power of making others squirm. Whatever it was, her actions had consequences, and not just legal ones. She'd alienated everyone around her, turned her community into a punchline. I didn't hate her, I pitied her. But pity doesn't erase accountability. Our cabin stands quiet now, the deck half finished, but ours. The lake reflects the sky, unbroken by sirens or lies. We're not just rebuilding a house. We're building a life, one where truth matters more than spite. Karen's story isn't over, but ours is stronger for it. The world doesn't need more Karens, it needs more Liliths. More neighbors like Jenkins. More people who choose honesty over drama. The end.